That is so crazy. It's like, Pikarom, I see your Tag Bolt GX and I raise you one Cross Break GX for GG's. What's up, everybody? Andrew Mahone here with Tricky Jim at Full Grip Games. Today I'm going to be showing off a wild Reshiram and Zekrom Tag Team GX deck that can easily take 4 prize turns using its powerful Cross Break GX. Let's take a look at the list. Reshiram and Zekrom-GX is the main attacker in the deck, weighing in at a hefty 270 HP. It's also got 2 fantastic attacks. Fabled Flare Bolts for a fire and a lightning energy deals 90 damage times the amount of fire or lightning energy you discard from your bench Pokemon, and you can discard up to 3 energy in this way, meaning that you can deal 270 damage for just 2 energy with Fabled Flare Bolts. Now, the best part about this deck is taking multiple prizes with Cross Break GX. For 2 fire and 2 lightning, this attack does 170 damage to one of your opponent's bench Pokemon, and if you played Ends Resolve from your hand during your turn, it also does 170 damage to another one of your opponent's bench Pokemon, meaning that you get to double snipe 170 damage to your opponent's bench with Cross Break GX, and utilizing Cross Break GX is super easy with the way that we've built this deck. We've got a ton of ways to accelerate energy onto the Reshiram and Zekrom. First of all, we've got Welder in the deck, which of course accelerates 2 fire energy from your hand to your Pokemon when you play it. We've also got 4 copies of Ends Resolve, which requires that you discard the top 6 cards of your deck, and if any of those are basic energy, you get to attach them to one of your bench Dragon Pokemon. Now, to help with our odds with Ends Resolve, we do play a massive 18 energy in the deck. We've got 6 lightning energy and 12 fire energy, meaning that we have some pretty good odds to hit high off of Ends Resolve when we're accelerating energy onto our bench Reshiram and Zekroms. To help sweeten those odds even more, we've got Oranguru with the Primate Wisdom ability, which reads, once during your turn, you may switch a card from your hand with the top card of your deck. Now, since Ends Resolve discards the top 6 cards of your deck in order to accelerate energy, if you've got an energy in your hand, you can use Primate Wisdom, put that energy on top of your deck, then use Ends Resolve to guarantee yourself an energy attachment with that Ends Resolve. It is very powerful. We've also got 2 copies of the Flare Starter Volcanion in the deck. If you're going second, you can search your deck for up to 3 fire energy and attach them to your Pokemon in any way you like. It's a great way to kick off the game, just flooding your field with fire energy. Then you find a couple of lightning energies and you are ready to rock. Speaking of lightning energy, we have also got Tapu Koko Prism Star in the deck for its Dance of the Ancients ability, allowing you to bump the Tapu Koko Prism Star to the Lost Zone, accelerating 2 lightning energy from your discard pile to your benched Pokemon, which is just amazing with this deck, allowing for some very explosive turns, and you can see the whole deck is just geared to accelerate as much energy into play as possible. So every turn, whether you're playing Ends Resolve, whether you're playing Welder, or whether you're using Tapu Koko Prism Star or Volcanion, we are getting energy into play to feed those Fabled Flare Bolts attacks. Now, Cross Break GX snipes 170 damage to 2 of your opponent's bench Pokemon. Unfortunately, Crobat V has a gnarly 180 hit points, but we've got a workaround for that. Since we are playing the Jirachi engine with Stellar Wish to help us find those good consistency cards from our deck, we also play 4 copies of Scoop Up Net. To help us fix our math, we also play 2 copies of Galarian Zigzagoon with the Headbutt Tantrum ability, which allows you to ping a damage counter when you put it from your hand to the bench. So since we have the 4 Scoop Up Nets and 2 Galarian Zigzagoons, we can fix a lot of math with the Reshiram Zekrom. Not only can we Cross Break GX Crobat Vs easily with the Galarian Zigzagoon, we can also knock out Arceus, Dialga, and Palkia Tag Team GX utilizing Fabled Flare Bolts, dealing 270 damage base, and then with the Zigzagoon hitting those 280 hit point totals with Fabled Flare Bolts. Overall, this deck is a ton of fun to play. It's explosive when it works and very rewarding to take 4 prize turns with Cross Break GX. I definitely recommend giving the deck a try, and let me know, what do you think of this Reshiram and Zekrom Tag Team GX deck in the comments below. Going first this game against Eternatus VMAX, we've got Jirachi, so I can just Stellar Wish, see if I can't get a Pokemon into play. Looks like we are not able to find a Reshiram, Zekrom, or anything like that, but I can't just wait till next turn. They're probably not knocking out my Jirachi or anything, so I'm not terribly concerned about it. We can just put the Volcanion down and attach an energy onto it, though, just to get it kind of established. Also, all the energy that you have in play with this deck really matters because you're going to be discarding those energies from play, in order to attack with the Reshiram and Zekrom. So let's see what my opponent gets up to this turn. Off of Stellar Wish next turn, we're really going to want to hit either a Welder or a Quick Ball so that we can end resolve to something and just draw some more cards. I wouldn't even mind just like a Quick Ball for a day change, just go see a different hand. Now, it does look like they're playing the Galarian Zigzagoon Scoop Up version of Eternatus, so they can most definitely take a 1-hit KO on my Jirachi turn 1 if they find enough Zigzagoons and Scoops. We are going to get Marnied right on out of this hand, so that's fine as well. The 4 cards that we find after the Marnie are not fantastic, and there's a Power Plant in play now, so that is going to make things a little bit difficult if I try to draw out of this hand with a Dedenne or something like that. We can't Day change, so that does make things a little bit problematic. Looks like they're just going to accelerate to the Crobat, though, and we'll see what we find. We do find a Crobat V, so that's very nice. We could Stellar Wish. We do find a Quick Ball as well, so I love to see that. We can just Quick Ball the Lightning Energy away, go get ourselves a Reshiram and Zekrom, and we can end resolve to see how many energy we hit. We got 2, so that's cool. I'm into that. And we could do 180 damage if I find a switch off of this. I think I am probably just going to wait. I'm not going to be able to get enough energy on the attacker to cross break this turn. Maybe I'll just attach. Well, I could. We've got a lightning in the discard pile, so if I find the Tapu Koko, Prism Star, and a switch, I could cross break this turn, potentially knock out the Crobat. We would have to draw very well, though. So let's see what we end up drawing off of the Crobat. We find Tapu Koko, but unfortunately, nothing else. So we are just kind of sitting here waiting for the next turn. I think we could put the Tapu Koko down, and we're just going to pass. I can deal 270 damage this next turn. However, we do run the risk of our Reshiram Zekrom getting knocked out, which is a little bit sad. And we don't have the most stable hand here in the world. I do need to get myself something else. You can see my opponent not Marnie. They have all 4 Marnies in the discard pile. They are just research or bust in that, and they're just digging for the VMAX. They do have a knockout on my Jirachi guaranteed. But if they don't evolve into a VMAX off of this, then I can take a knockout on them with my Reshiram Zekrom. We can deal 270, which is enough to knock out Eternatus V, which could get us 2 prizes. So we do like that. They have the VMAX. I guess they're digging for the energy is probably the piece that they are looking for. They're going to be able to Crobat for it. So they're digging 5 cards deeper. If they don't find the energy, that'd be great, because then they would not be able to knock out my Jirachi either. We would have another attempt at Stellar Wish and could potentially, have a pretty decent play this next turn. But if they go knock out Jirachi, knock out Reshiram Zekrom, then, we're probably not in the best situation. Looks like they're going to attempt Turbo Patch, get an energy into the discard pile, attempt Turbo Patch, go with the Spiritomb. It's kind of a cute play. And then you can take the knockout on the Jirachi using the Spiritomb. Looks like they are playing, some energy acceleration in this deck to try and account for hammers. Now we can go and take the High Heat Blast knockout. I like that. We also get Welder off the top, which is just beautiful for us. So we can pile more energy into play. I think I'm going to Welder just 1 fire to the active Volcanion, which is fine. And then see what we end up drawing into next. We've got a Lightning Energy we can attach to the Reshiram Zekrom. We've got the knockout, High Heat Blast on the Spiritomb. And then we'll see if we get anything off of these prize cards. We've got a Scoop Up Net, so I can deal some bonus damage with Galarian Zigzagoon, which is nice. Now my opponent does have to attach to the active in order to attack. I can't 1-hit KO the active, which is a shortcoming of this deck, not being able to, deal that 1-hit KO to 340 HP Pokemon is pretty tough sometimes, but it's possible that my opponent doesn't have the energy again. They did get rid of all of their Marnies, so, unless they have a research, they might research and just dig again. They've got 21 cards left in deck, so that would be a pretty reasonable play for them if they were able to find one of those. but my opponent is down a lot of supporters. So I'm kind of thinking that, you know, they only have 2 research left in the deck, and they are down 2 Boss's Orders as well. So they might be kind of stalled out and stuck in this kind of weird hand that they're in, not being able to draw anymore now that their resources are more or less, you know, kind of fully utilized. So we can put up the Reshiram Zekrom. I've got an Ends Resolve, which is crazy. So I can actually cross break this turn, and I could potentially cross break knockout. I actually have cross break knockout 2 Crobats, which put me at 5. Put me at 1 prize remaining, which is so insane. All right, so we've got it all, really. I just have, you know, we go Lightning here, and I go Switch, and we just Ends Resolve, and I Ends Resolve, see how many energy I can accelerate. We get 2 fires. I can go Galarian Zigzagoon, yeah, and we're going to ping the Crobat there, and then we Scoop Up Net, and we ping another Crobat, and we go Crossbreak GX, and we take 4 prizes with Crossbreak GX, which is just absolutely insane. So we just make that play, and all I need is a Boss's Orders for game, and I win, which is pretty wild. Unfortunately, though, if I cannot find that game-winning Boss's Orders, we could be in a little bit of a tight spot. I am anticipating that my opponent's going to be able to knock out this Reshiram Zekrom. They are accelerating more energy into play. All I have to do is take out the Galarian Zigzagoon. All we need is a boss. Can we dig for it? I mean, just a single, you know, quick ball, day change, something like that. There is power plant in play, so I guess I can't day change. But maybe this Stellar Wish here can find me the game-winning cards. Now, after they take this knockout on the Reshiram and Zekrom, I don't exactly have, I don't have any Pokemon I can promote that doesn't get 1-hit KO by them. So we're hoping that maybe they don't have the bench Pokemon that they need to knock out my Reshiram Zekrom. They do, though. So that's unfortunate, and they can Dread End for KO. So I have to find out a way to give myself the best odds of being able to find game-winning cards. So I can promote the Galarian Zigzagoon and retreat it into the Jirachi, and then if I find Boss's Orders, we also have Quick Ball here, which really helps. So we can go Quick Ball away a Fire Energy, because they've got the Dance of the Ancients. We've got it all. We've got everything that we need. Let's see, do we have Dedenne? I can't play the Dedenne. I've got Eldegoss. Do I already have Boss in the discard pile? Do not have Boss in the discard pile yet. So how many Boss's Orders do I have in the deck? I have 2. So it is a little bit of a reach for us. How many Stadiums do I have in the deck? I have 2. So we're going to retreat into the dry. How many Scoop Up Nets and stuff do I have left? I have 1 Switch, 1 Scoop Up Net. So I'm thinking that we're probably going to go with the Dedenne and just see if I don't find myself. We can go retreat the Zigzagoon into Jirachi, look for the game-winning Boss's Orders, and sure enough, there it is. Oh, busted deck! There we go. We got Dance of the Ancients. Go on to Crobat and Galarian Zigzagoon, and that's going to be GG's to my opponents. We have got the Boss's Orders on a Galarian Zigzagoon, Scoop Up Net, the active, and Fabled Flare Bolts for 180 damage and game. Going second against Pikachu and Zekrom Tag Team GX, we've got a great opening hand. We've got Crobat V, Tapu Koko Prism Star, Giant Hearth as well. And I'm really curious to see how this matchup goes, because I think that Reshiram Zekrom should have a pretty decent time, considering that we can one-hit KO everything in the deck, and we also just very easily prey on Dedenne-GXs with our powerful cross break. So I'm curious to see how this one goes. We've got the Welder as well. This is just a really, really good opening hand for us. So I'm trying to figure out what the worst card in this hand to get rid of is, because they are all good cards. We could go Giant Hearth. We can get 2 fire energy. We want to welder onto a Volcanion, so I have to get myself a Volcanion. We need the switch as well. So it's just it's tough for us. It really is. So let's see if I can't Giant Hearth, get 2 fires, quick ball away one of them, something like that. So we can actually just Primate Wisdom the Koko back into the deck, because that's a card I can't really afford to get rid of. And sure enough, we're good at this game. So we've got that there, easy. We can switch into the Volcanion there, attach here, and just Crobat now, which is kind of nuts. And I think we're just going to get the Tapu Koko right back. So that's cool. And then we've got Quick Ball, and I can get rid of a Zigzagoon, and I can Welder double fire onto a just straight onto a Reshiram Zekrom. So love to see that. It's good as well. Go there, Welder double fire here. And then we've got the Tapu Koko Prism Star 2. Got a Jirachi, and I actually just have Eldegoss again, which is just so powerful. And we're just going to be able to flood this field with energy, which is absolutely insane. So let's go Flare Starter. I've got End Resolve for next turn. We've got Eldegoss. I don't think I actually want to get any more energy out of the deck. I'm totally fine with this. We could just Flare Starter, and we're going to throw 3 fire energy. We don't want them on the Reshiram Zekrom. We can put like 1 on the Crobat, 1 on Oranguru, and like 1 more on the active Volcanion. And that way, if I want to, I can High Heat Blast something next turn. I can also Hard Retreat if I have to. If the Giant Hearth sticks, maybe we'll go in with Eldegoss and Welder again. But at a certain point, it's like, don't really need to Welder any more than we've already done. I mean, look at how much energy in play. 6 energy in play turn 1. That is the dream, isn't it? It's been working pretty smoothly here for us. And then Ends Resolve next turn, hoping that we can just find some of those lightning energies out of the deck. We're going to get Marnie, which is actually really good because it would be easier to Ends Resolve for like 1 energy, 1 lightning, and then attach another lightning from hand. So we're really looking to try and find some. We do get 3 switch, which is good. We've got Jirachi in play, so we could switch into Jirachi, and that gives us an additional draw out that we really like. I haven't played any of my Dedennes yet, so we also have an out to potentially data change this next turn. My opponent just has to go up with Electrify and accelerate some energy onto the Pikachu and Zekrom Tag Team GX over there, which is cool. We actually ripped the Ends Resolve, but, at what cost? Do we just go in with the Ends Resolve? I could Giant Hearth for a fire and guarantee myself at least a fire energy excel with the Ends Resolve, which is like kind of interesting as well. We, go Giant Hearth, Primate Wisdom, put it over there. I think we're just going to End Resolve and see what happens. We did get a lightning and a fire, so that's fine. We can switch into Jirachi, Stellar Wish. See what we're looking at here off the top. We do get a Quick Ball, which I do like. And then I can switch and just take the knockout on the Boltund. We've just got enough energy now to just make that happen. We found the lightning energy, and I can Quick Ball, go next turn if I want to. I think I'm just going to Primate Wisdom the Welder onto the top of the deck, so we just have some additional draw next turn. We got another fire energy, which is super cool, so I can attach that, which is just like a very easy play to make. And we go Fabled Flare Bolt, so we're going to be dealing 270 damage, 1, 2, and 3. Just discard those, and we're chilling. Boltund's gone. If my opponent brings up the Pikarom, I am also very easily going to be dealing 270 damage this next turn. So the Pikarom is just not safe at all, which is insane. If my opponent comes and just literally full blitzes into the Reshiram Zekrom, we've just got a 270 damage Fabled Flare Bolts. Even if they put a big charm on the Pikarom, it's not going to be enough. So it looks like they are potentially trying to gas up a Tag Bolt. If they do get Tag Bolt, they can knock out my Volcanion, which would slow me down a little bit. However, I do play Tapu Koko Prism Star. If I can get some lightning energies into the discard pile, we can make that work. I also play Eldegoss. I could Giant Hearth for some energies. out of the deck. I do have a Welder stacked on top of the deck. It was stacked there just in case of a Marnie play. So I know that I'm getting a Welder off the top. I can quick ball for another Reshiram Zekrom. And if the Giant Hearth sticks, I can Welder double fire to a new Reshiram Zekrom. Even if they tag Bolt GX, it means they will not have full blitzed yet, which means that they will have no energy in play, and we could just take that knockout. They are going to reset stamp, so that means that I'm not guaranteed the Welder that I stack there with Primate Wisdom. They know that, so they probably want to stamp. Well, also to give them a little bit more draw with Crobat, which makes sense. Crushing Hammer could be big as well if they're able to hit any of those. I know they need, what, an energy switch to be able to pull off the tag bolt this turn. So if they have energy switch in hand, they will be looking at that Volcanion on my bench. And they do have the energy switch, which makes me think maybe we could have left the 2 energy on the Crobat instead. I thought maybe I would attack with the Volcanion, and truthfully, I was not expecting the tag bolt to be coming into play this turn. So that is a pretty big turn for my opponent. And we are getting punished for leaving our 2 fire energy there instead of leaving them on the Crobat. But they have to ask themselves, like, how scared are they of me retaliating with this current board? They are putting that Dedenne down. So if I top deck Ends Resolve, I just win the game. If I can Ends Resolve and just knock out Dedenne and Crobat at the same time, they're definitely going to go for my Volcanion. They have only taken 1 prize, so this is something to think about as well. They've just taken 1 prize. We've got a switch. That's a beautiful draw there for us. We want to switch into the Jirachi. And then if I find an Ends Resolve, we just win the game. So I want to keep this Jirachi here because I could Scoop Up Net. If I find another switch card, I don't want to Giant Hearth anything away. We're going to grab Quick Ball here, and then I can go and get Eldegoss. Yup. So we're going to go here. And we grab the Eldegoss out of the deck. Go Eldegoss for Ends Resolve. Play Ends Resolve. And we get a bunch of energy onto our Reshiram Zekrom. Go here. And Zigzagoon the Crobat Crossbreak GX for 4 prizes and game. Filthy deck. Oh my gosh. That is so crazy. It's like, Pikarom, I see your Tag Bolt GX and I raise you 1 Crossbreak GX for GG's. We're going second this game, open against a Double V. So curious to see what this deck is. Could be a Senti-Scorch VMAX deck. Does look like that's what we're up against. So I'm excited to see how this matchup goes as well. I don't know that I've ever played the Senti-Scorch VMAX matchup with Reshiram and Zekrom. Now, something I do like about this matchup, just right off of the top, is that we get to probably Crossbreak GX for some really juicy prizes. This doesn't look like Senti-Scorch VMAX now. It's looking like a Torkoal V deck. So Torkoal could be a little bit tough for us, but most Welder decks still put down a lot of Dedennes, which is going to be great for us here. If we could cross-break a Dedenne and maybe another Dedenne, or a Dedenne and a Crobat, then we certainly would be in a very good position this game. I think I want to Stellar Wish first to see if we can't thin anything out of the deck. We do find Scoop Up Net, which is cool, and then just going to go in with the Ends Resolve, just let it rip. See, how lucky are we? We've got 2. Feels good like that. We could go Reshiram and Zekrom, attach Fire Energy to it, Scoop Up Net, and Data Change will be fine. Or I could save this energy in my hand, just pass, wait till next turn. I think that's probably for the best, since I don't want to just bring the Reshiram Zekrom up into the active when my opponent could use Torkoal V. That is the sketchy thing, right? If they just hit me with the Steam Crush, then we're in a really bad spot. So we want to make sure that we attack first into the Torkoal. We can deal 270 damage pretty easily. So I'm not worried, 260 HP with the Toughness Cape is not going to keep them out of KO range for us, which is great. And since I am able to kind of divide out my energy, keep a bunch of energy on the bench, that should play to our advantage as well in this matchup. Now, they do have Welder Double Fire onto the Torkoal V. We're going to see if they find a switch and see if they knock out my Jirachi. That would be fine if they do. Like I said, we're just going to go in with the Cross Break, or not the Cross Break, the Fabled Flare Bolts, and take a knockout on the Torkoal. If we can leave them with no additional energy in play, then we should be in a great spot to just kind of roll through the rest of the game. Double getting the Cape of Toughness is going to be much tougher to take out because of that Soft Wool ability on it, making it so that it's effectively got like 290 HP. So we can still get there, but it's just going to be a little bit more challenging than it would be otherwise. So we're going to Stellar Wish first, and we don't find anything off the Stellar Wish. And I have to ask myself, okay, is it worth it to go in with the Reshiram Zekrom like this? I think probably. We could attach the energy here. We're just going to go in and see if can't find some gnarly plays. So we're just going to go in, data change. We do find the Quick Ball. So I go get Tapu Koko Prism Star, which is nice. I do find Galarian Zigzagoon as well, so I can ping the double. We could just take the double out this turn potentially, so I do like that. We also have Quick Ball in hand, so I can just end resolve, which is really nice. So I'm thinking we could go ping the double. The double's got effectively, 240 plus 50, 290, so it needs pinged twice. So we can go this, ping the double, and we could Scoop Up Net, and we could do it again, right? That's kind of like something that we need to do. And then I guess it would be cool to just, we could either Eldegoss with these, right? Or I could go Crobat. I think Crobat makes more sense just given the way that our hand looks. If I Eldegoss for Ends Resolve, then I have to hit 1 off of the Ends Resolve, which is not bad. But then I'm kind of like limiting my own draw, right? Whereas if I Quick Ball here, fail it, and then just go in with Crobat, we see like maybe if we find ourselves a Welder. Yeah, I was kind of thinking that Welder, would be a better play for us. So we can, and let's see, the Steam Crush only discards 2 energy from my opponent's active Pokemon. So that's interesting as well. We're going to Welder and just put probably 2 onto the Crobat, which is good. And then we do find our Tapu Koko Prism Star, and we're going to be able to Fabled Flare Bolts for the knockout. So we're just going to get rid of 1, 2, and 3, dealing our full 270 damage. And then with the Cape of Toughness, we're able to knock out the double. Very strong turn for us. Take our 2 prizes as well. We got Jirachi, and we've got a switch. So like the switches, we're going to be able to go into Jirachi and Stellar Wish and see if we can't, get into some different play after my opponent removes our energy, but they are going to Marnie us. It's a little bit tough. So we're sending these switches to the bottom of the deck, which is not something that I want to do, but we do find a Welder, so not all hope is lost. And I'm anticipating that we get Steam Crushed here, but it's fine. I mean, really, we can one-hit KO the Torkoal. All I have to do is kind of continue building up like a reasonably stable board position, and then eventually we will be able to seek some vengeance on this Torkoal here. So they're drawing more cards. They've got the Heatran-GX, a little bit scary because it can one-hit KO my Reshiram Zekroms as well. Hammers are always a little bit scary because, half the time they're really good. So that's unfortunate. But we still got enough juice in the tank to be able to finish this off. So they're going to deal 120 damage, remove both my energy. No energy in play now, but it's fine. We've got Ends Resolve, and we've got Welder. So I think that we're going to go Giant Hearth and get 2 fire energies out of the deck. And then next turn, we'll probably be looking at a potential End Resolve. So I think at this point, I'm looking at trying to win the game with a Cross Break. So we're going to go Welder, Double Fire here. Hope they don't have a boss in their hand. Right? And then we can go energy here on the active. And that way, if my opponent bosses and crushes my Reshiram Zekrom there on the bench, fine. that's okay. I could just attach the third energy, which kind of gives it some protection, right? So I guess we'll just do that. Because then that way, if they do boss and remove 2 energy from my bench Reshiram Zekrom, then we still have a shot here. So to be able to like attack or knock out the Torkoal or whatever, because I could still end resolve and just like hit a ton of energy off end resolve. If they do gust that, you know, accelerate 3 onto this, you know, attach from hand or something, you know, maybe we can still make that work. We do need to find some lightning energy though. I do know I have 4 lightning energy left in the deck. They're probably trying to figure out what their best course of action is going to be. If they've got boss, I think bringing up the Reshiram Zekrom here and removing the 2 energy with the Torkoal is probably in their best interest. But if they don't have boss, then, you know, maybe they have a play where they can just knock out my active with Steam Crush. They can go get themselves an Oranguru, put the energy on top of the deck, and go from there. Curious to see what their next line is, because I feel like we're close to being able to pull this game off, but we do need a couple more things to go our way. Got the backup Torkoal, and I really want to see what their next line is going to be. Are they just going to, you know, go for the combustion pillar, 180, take the knockout, 120, doesn't take the knockout on my active. They're going to Giant Hearth, get rid of a Heat Fire energy. Heat Fire energy could be tough, actually, because it puts the Torkoal out of range. So they could get, you know, actually put a lot of pressure on with those Heat Fire energies. So getting rid of the Heat Fire energy is really interesting, because then, you know, I can't actually take a knockout on the Torkoal V if they use that Heat Fire energy. I wonder if they're going to be able to knock out my Reshiram Zekrom, or if they're just going in with the Steam Crush again, 120. They have Great Catcher. Oh, geez. So yeah, they're going to be able to bring out my Reshiram Zekrom for sure and target it down with the Steam Crush, which is exactly what they want. Seems very good for them. Last card in hand is an Eldegoss, and they're going to go Day Change. So we're in a really tough spot here. All I have to do is cross break GX and I win. So I think like we just bide our time. This is fine. I don't want to make any more sudden moves. We wait until we have, let's see, we can go here, right? See how many more energy are left in the deck. 4 fire energy. So I can take 2 out of the deck and just welder to my benched Reshiram Zekrom, just 1, you know, just keep it there. That's fine. We're going to keep this other energy in my hand. We're trying to thin the amount of cards that I have left in the deck while just like keeping myself alive here, because all I have to do is cross break for game. So that's all we're trying to do, is just piece together cross break. There's 4 prizes remaining. There's 2 Dedenne-GX. They can't wear Cape of Toughnesses. So we're just kind of putting our hope in to the process here, right? Putting our hope in. We've got Giant Hearth. Let's see, I can attach 1 more energy if I want to. I can Welder again, which is cool. Just like help dig into the deck a little bit more. You know, do I want to Welder to the active or Welder to the bench? I think we can Welder to the active, which is fine. Just to keep the energy spread out. Like, we want to give my opponent suboptimal, you know, moves. We don't want them, okay. We don't want them to be able to make any good plays here with their, you know, Steam Crush. If I put the energy here, the Gust, okay, Gust, remove the energy there again. It's like, okay, that's annoying, right? So we just hang tight here and just pass turn. I got a lightning I can attach from hand. I get Tapu Koko, end resolve, and then we're basically there. So if they don't disrupt my hand this turn, they kind of have to Marnie, right? I'm curious if they're going to have Marnie. They don't. So this should be a game-winning turn for us. We should be able to pull this off. We've got everything we need in hand. All we have to do is cross break GX for 4 prizes. So we do have double lightning here. I think we're just going to go quick ball away a Jirachi, get ourselves the Tapu Koko Prism Star, right? And then all I have to do is like hit and energy. We can Dance of the Ancients. There. All we have to do is hit 1 energy. Doesn't even matter what type it is. We're going to Stellar Wish first to thin our deck. So we can thin a boss out of the deck. And then I can even Stellar Wish again. And go here. Scoop Up Net the Jirachi. And Stellar Wish one more time just to thin the deck even more. To pretty much sure it up. I mean, there's no chance, right? Because we've only got 8 cards left in deck. So we're going to hit off of this End's Resolve. And we're going to get a bunch of energy. We go there, we switch, and we cross-break GX, and we take our 4 prizes, and that's game. Dedenne, GG's. Alex, it has been a pleasure. Those Torkoals were tough to play around, but cross-break GX getting us another win with Reshiram Zekrom Tag Team GX. And that's it for the video. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure to like the video, sub to the channel, ring that bell, and of course, check out the Twitch stream, twitch.tv/TrickyJim, where I stream live Pokemon trading card game content every single weekday starting at 9 a.m. Eastern time. We'd love to have you as a part of our Twitch community. If you've got extra cards lying around the house, make sure to check out FullGripGames.com. We are always buying bulk and singles. You can trade your bulk for store credit. You can trade your bulk for a booster box, and you can sell your cards for cash if you want to, all on FullGripGames.com. And supporting the shop at Full Grip Games directly supports the content I create here on Tricky Jim. I've got a nice, easy to follow video on the buy list section of the Full Grip Games website explaining how to submit your cards for a buy list order. It's easy to follow. Make sure to go ahead and check it out. That's it for the video. Y'all take it easy and have a great day. Peace.